You know what? Just go. I'll stay here and I'll figure this out myself.
You need electric?
Yeah. Holy shit, I know how to do it.
On May 14, 2023, I dropped my first video here on YouTube entitled From Ancient Deities Explained. In this video, I spoke about the grandmother spider deity and her symbols being spiders and woven items. Now, the Spider Woman or the grandmother spider appears in many Native American mythologies. The Spider Woman's themes are magical charms and growth. Her symbols are spiders and woven items. 6 days after dropping this video on May 20th, episode 5 of season 2 was released entitled Lullaby. This was the episode that Jade played the violin for Victor. This is also the episode where my grandmother spider theory is given the utmost credence. Elgin met Sarah at the church. He stated that when he got trapped in this place, he was on his way to see his grandmother, something he would do each weekend. He said they would attend church and then spend the afternoon making crochet owls. He said she had hundreds of them and would gift them to everybody she met.
Not religious, but it always made her happy, you know? Me going to church with her, and afterwards we spend the afternoon sitting outside making these little crochet owls.
Really?
It was always an owl. And she has hundreds of them. She'd give them to every person that she met. And I would tell her.
Call me crazy, but mentioning the grandmother spider deity and her woven items 6 days before the episode where Elgin speaks about his grandmother and her woven items is pretty crazy. In that same video, I referenced the dream catchers, and now we see our residents are being killed in their dreams. Also, Elgin and Tilly crocheting was even more than a connection. How about Bacta's grandmother used to sing that nursery rhyme to her that we heard in Kenny's phone call? Tilly also mentioned that she's a grandmother in this episode. I have a quick question. Why is Donna's hands always in her pocket? Is she holding on to a secret amulet? Did you know that a group of communal spiders is called a colony? The overwhelming list of connections is getting thicker than a stack of lonely dragon pancakes. Did you know that spiders are a natural predator of cicadas? Have you ever played Spider Solitaire? Speaking of solitaire, Tilly being a grandmother and crocheting with Elgin, they made a point to show us that it was he who was teaching her how to do it. Wouldn't you think it'd be the other way around? Even the very first slow walker we see kill somebody was masquerading as Megan's grandmother. Now, I must say that the writers have done a tremendous job at inserting different nuances into the show for people to theorize and prognosticate the outcome. And at the very least, develop a story around a plethora of science fiction tropes and a diverse list of cultural references. Hey, yo, wait a minute, my bad. I don't want to make this about the writing. I'll save that for another video. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the spiders and the grandmother connection. There are several grandfather references too in this show. There's the grandfather clock at Colony House. There's the grandfather clock in the tunnels, 2 different clocks. There's Elgin telling Boyd that he's going to be a grandfather. Then there's Ethan's grandfather. That's the patriarch in which we will discuss. Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about a man who saved his bootlaces and gave them to his son. So Grandpa Matthews passed down the family bootlaces. Now that may sound funny, but the only bootlaces that I could see somebody saving and passing down are that of a soldier's. These laces could have even been passed down to Jim's father. These laces could have also been around at the events that happened to make this benevolent force create this pocket of existence that has our residents and everybody trapped. These laces could have been there before Victor's mother. and surely before the laces were handed to Jim. So this begs the question, who was Jim's ancestor and what was he involved in? Who is in the tower? Who built the tower? Is Jim a descendant of the architects of this tower? Is the tower Jim designed connected to the tower or lighthouse? Yes, they are connected, at least in one way. The tower that Jim designed and the lighthouse both appeared in episode 10 of season 1. After the tower was hoisted on the roof, they had to assemble a few pieces and stand it up. Once they stand the tower, they notice the storm. This direction right here where she's pointing in is the direction of the lighthouse. We know this because Boyd and Sarah were already experiencing rain before Colony House. And once the tower was standing, Sarah and Boyd arrived at the summit where they could see the lighthouse. Could this shot of Jim's building plans be a clue that Jim is somehow associated with the architects of this tower? It would also make Julie and Ethan connected. I don't know, but if this show is going in the direction that I think, we are in for a wild ride. As I stated in my first video, these people's ancestors are directly connected to this place in multiple ways. If Bakhta's grandmother was singing that verse to her when she was a little girl, that would mean that Bakhta has been connected to this place since she was a little girl. Boyd was on his first tour in the Gulf and bared witness to the death of Brian Kelly. Let's not forget that Sarah's brother Nathan was a farmer, and Brian mentioned in the bar that he grew up on a farm. Maybe he was brought there to replace Nathan and show Boyd the Brian Kelly connection as well. Also, I think it's possible that Kenny's father didn't really have dementia. I think this place was messing with him. It was the voices that told him to leave the house, and that's how his family ended up in this place. Father Khatri also heard voices that made him end up in Frumtown. The Matthews family's bootlaces connected them to this place way before Jim and Tabitha even knew each other. Tabitha spoke about how she didn't think her parents would like Jim, but they did. Could Jim and Tabitha's bloodlines have been brought together to fulfill a prophecy? Who were Tabitha's parents? Could there be something that is waiting on Ethan to spiritually mature so that he can turn to the dark side? Are Jade, Tabitha, and Jim's bloodlines somehow connected to the Crowmen, as in Cromanacle or Crowmanacle? Is this the drawing of someone transforming into a Crowman? Were their ancestors worshipers of an ancient order or practitioners of? Like I said, a wild ride. Just something to think about while we wait on the next episode. So, 34 days after I released my first video, we've reached 1,000 subscribers, and I couldn't have done this without you guys. So the utmost respect and gratitude goes to you. Oh, and this is just the beginning. I did get a few suggestions for shows that I should add to the cover, and I'm going to get on those as soon as I have time. I'm actually in the process of writing my own horror mystery novel. I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, well, that's my video for today. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.